The first phone with an under-display selfie camera was the ZTE Axon 20. At least the first one that was widely available to the public. It was quite good for what it was, a working implementation of brand new technology. Yes, it had its fair share of issues, but that's the point of it, right? It was first gen. Now ZTE is back at it again with the Axon 35G. So how did this turn out? Well, I've been using the Axon 30 for over a week as my primary, and in today's video, let's see how ZTE actually fared. If this is your first time here, or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching Z4 Tech, and let's get started. Now yes, this is a full review, but we're gonna start with the box contents since I didn't do a dedicated unboxing video or anything. First, let's start with slicing that protective plastic on the outside, peeling it off. Next up, let's open up the box. We are greeted with the Axon 35G. Let's peel this plastic off too. And also the sticker to the back. I like the reflective back here. The subtle ZTE logo looks pretty darn good if you ask me. Next up, there is a box here that houses the SIM ejector pin, the regular leaflets, and a hard case. Beat it up, this is our first look at that display covering the selfie camera. Now turn it off and look at it at an angle, you definitely can notice it. But anyway, we will get to that in a bit. We then have a 65-watt charger, and here's the surprise. ZTE have included a pair of EarPods-esque earphones. Now, if you think that means we get a headphone jack, no, think again. They have, for what it's worth, included a Type-C to 3.5mm converter in the box. And finally, we've got a USB Type-C cable. Now, given we just talked charger, let's kick things off with battery and charging. There's a 4200 milliamp hour battery on the inside. While it might not sound like much, the battery life here is excellent. I was often able to get to the second day evening with light usage. Even when pushed, one day battery life is a no-brainer here. You know why the battery life is so damn good on this one? It's partly due to the software inside. ZTE calls this MyUI 11. It's built on top of Android 11 and it's very unobtrusive. The square of icons on the home screen, the elongated quick settings toggles and the notification bar, some skinning for the settings menu, most of these changes are very cosmetic. Others include unobtrusive extras like Z-Pop, which basically is an alternative navigation method. We also get favorites like double tap to wake, shake to turn on the flashlight. The interface though, it largely remains stock. ZTE does not push ads. They do not have restrictions on switching launchers. There's little to no bloat, so it's all very lightweight, very user-friendly, very fast. Now good software is just that, good software. It's nothing unless you pair it with good hardware. And ZTE has also delivered on that front. Now, we've got a Snapdragon 870 chip, 8 or 12 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 128 or 256 gigs of superfast UFS 3.1 storage. The score you're seeing here, it's not just in theory, it actually translates to real-world use, whether it's emulating PSP at 4x resolution or playing Genshin Impact at the highest settings. The Axon 35G just delivers. The speaker output's pretty awesome too. And while we are taking a look at this beautiful gameplay footage, let's also take a minute to talk about the other star of the show, the display. This here is a 6.92-inch AMOLED panel, so it's pretty big. The resolution is Full HD+, it's bright, there's HDR support. It also happens to be covered by Corning's Gorilla Glass. The refresh rate is 120Hz with a touch sampling rate of 360Hz. Now, if you remember the last time around, the patch covering the camera, it felt just like that, right? A patch. It was all the more noticeable since that part of the display was of a lower resolution than the rest. This is something ZTE have addressed here. The pixel density on this spot, it's up to 400 pixels per inch, so it's more in line with the rest of the display. So now the patch covering the camera is not really noticeable under most circumstances. If you had the display turned off and looked at it in the right light, like I said earlier, it's obvious, but for the most part, you're not really gonna notice it. Okay, all that's well and good, but the big question I had was how this camera performed. With the Axon 20, the selfies had a weird halo glow to them. Even with the Mi Mix 4, we did notice that, the softness in the selfies. Now with the Axon 30, we actually see the performance improve. See the side-by-side comparison of the selfies shot by the Axon 30 with the one shot on the Mix 4. You can see the 30 doing a lot better with sharpness and especially detail. Well, it's better than what we get with the Mix 4. It's still not at the same level as a selfie camera that does not have the display covering it. But we are getting there. ZTE has done an amazing job with this implementation. They seem to be taking tech in the right direction. Now, while on the topic of cameras, there are four to the back. The primary is a 64 megapixel f1.8, no OIS. It's decent with performance. The dynamic range is pretty good, well detailed and sharp images. The low light mode does take longer than on competing phones, but the performance again is pretty good, so can't really complain. The secondary camera is a 8 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide, and there's nothing really special about it. It performs about as well as you'd expect it to. The last two are 5 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth sensors, which, like on every other phone, are just there to make up the numbers. From a video perspective, the Axon 35G can do up to 4K 60 FPS, and the footage is stable and crisp. It does have gyro-assisted EIS, by the way. Now, with battery, hardware, display, software, and optics done, let's actually get to the build. The camera hump is quite pronounced. That leads to wobbling when you place this phone on a surface. This is largely offset by the case though, but it is worth pointing out nonetheless. The Axon logo to the back is big enough to be very obnoxious, but the fact that it's of the same color as the rest of the back, it means you don't really notice it much. The ZTE logo, it's quite unobtrusive. I'm not a fan of the switch to plastic, though the Axon 20, if you remember, it had glass and eco leather as back options. Here it's just glossy plastic. Now on the flip side, ZTE has managed to get the weight lower by about 10 grams. For a phone with an almost 7-inch display, the 190 gram weight, it feels deceptively light. The sides are also plastic, so let's actually take a quick look around. We have the power and volume keys to the right, secondary mic up top, nothing to the left. The bottom is quite packed. We've got the primary mic and USB Type-C port in between the speaker and dual SIM tray. Do note that this one is a hybrid setup, so memory expansion, that is micro SD support, is an option here. So overall, from a build perspective, I don't really like the switch to plastic, but I'll take it, given the internals have gone from the mid-range 765G to the almost flagship 870. Now, of course, that is not free. It's coming with a price increase. The Axon 20 launched at $449 US, while the Axon 30 gets a $50 price hike. It starts at $499. But even then, it seems to be a good value phone. In my humble opinion, where the Axon 20 felt like a phone you paid attention to just because of the gimmick that was the under-display selfie camera, the Axon 30 feels like an actually solid phone that you need to pay attention to. And it also happens to have an improved under-display selfie camera. That's not the main selling point anymore. So anyways, this has been my experience with the Axon 35G. What do you guys think about this? Would you like to see it launched in other markets like India? Leave a comment down below, and with that we get to the end of this review. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.